I made a video yesterday where I talked about the frame data from Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong on my console killer build. I built this for the PlayStation 5 console kill in terms of the hardware, and then I've upgraded it lately. I put a 5800X 3D as a CPU, and as the Pro is out, I always knew that that console killer build in its original form would trade blows with the PS5 Pro. The hardware upgrade didn't seem like it was significant enough, and now that we're seeing even Mark Cerny come out and call out the flopflation that a lot of people have put in, I decided I'd visit Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong because YouTuber El Analista de Bits went ahead and actually showed the comparisons from pre-patch to post-patch. Now, when I made the video on Alan Wake 2, we saw that this build with a 6750 XT GPU pretty much is performing better than Alan Wake 2 on the PS5 Pro, because they locked the resolution to about 800 and something pixels. That's basically the resolution, so very low resolution. On my PC, I was able to get the game to play at around 1080, basically native, and that did actually decently well, but the game needs a lot of optimization. In terms of Black Myth Wukong, I went ahead and did the same thing. We saw better delivery in terms of performance from that PC. An audience member of mine said that I had ray tracing turned off, and so my video basically was giving PlayStation the short end of the bias, which, if you know, Alan Wake 2, Black Myth Wukong has two ray tracing modes. One is turned on, I think by default, a software ray tracing mode, because the hardware ray tracing, AMD's devices can't really do very well on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an NVIDIA GPU based device. We're going to look at this hardware ray tracing, and we're going to see what it's about. Because when I turn on ray tracing, believe you me, this hardware ray tracing for the 6750 XT, it grinded the game to like 7 FPS. There's no way a PS5 Pro is running the hardware ray tracing, because that is something that is relegated to NVIDIA's expertise. So now we have the game at like 50 FPS here. And let's go ahead and look at the settings that I'm using, because I think that's going to go ahead and inform you as to what's going on. All right, graphics. DLSS is on. They almost make sure you can't not run DLSS, right, in this game. And when you run DLSS, full ray tracing is, basically, I just have to discard changes because I left this whole thing. I put on path tracing at some point. But anyways, let's keep going. And so the game is doing around 60 FPS if we use DLSS. But what would happen if we actually turned on path tracing? I said path tracing, hardware tracing. Man, I'm getting my terms wrong in this game. Well, let's go ahead and let's see what happens. Now, the reason it's giving me very high, it's because this is running a 4080. I don't know why it thinks I want to run it at very high, but you know what? Let's go for it. I mean, because this is not something that you have an option with the current consoles and AMD, devices, simply because that's not something that they're designed to do if you actually get a hang of it. We're going to have to restart the game in order for us to be able to get the most out of these settings that have been changed. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think it's probably going to inform what it is that we've seen so far. And I think the biggest thing here is a lot of folk on the console side, I know you want this W so bad, but the win that you're looking for is not here. PC hardware advances way too fast for consoles to keep up. The win that you're looking for is a win that you already achieved a long time ago. Let me show you the W that you pretty much should be celebrating, rather than going for something that is just not there at the price point that you want. If they sold you 4070 based hardware in the PS5 Pro, you'd pay a lot more money for it than $700. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about the way technology works. I mean, the plethora of options, even on PC, and everything performing at that level is still quite pricey, because that's NVIDIA's CUDA Tensor Core technology and everything that it has with it. It is not the same as what AMD is doing. But the win, like I said, is the win that your PS5 base can already beat a lot of the hardware specifications for PlayStation games on PC, both minimum and recommended. That already is it. You don't need all this powerful hardware that they're selling to you under the guise of, oh, we want you to experience this, and this. That's not what you should be worrying about. all the content creators that have been basically fugazing you through this whole thing have just been baiting you for their own clicks. I mean, yeah, sure, I want you to click my videos, but a lot of the people that bought their PS5 Pros, when I watched their videos, they bought them to make videos about them. I was watching it because I was like, look at these guys. They're like, well, is it worth it to buy the PS5 Pro? I'm like, you know you didn't need one because you produced this video on a PC. You know your PC is better than this thing, but you sat here for 30 minutes to tell us why you thought it wasn't worth it. And everybody is eating this stuff up with a spoon, not paying attention to actually learn hardware. It's not easy. Learning hardware and software interactions in terms of video games, their metrics, their data and stuff, it's a very hard enterprise. Anybody that comes in and gives you just a small scale version of it is not helping you. This is it with full patch tracing on 39 FPS. The game's optimization is where the big challenge is. Is there any frame gen on? Let's see if we got any frame generation on. This game is needing a lot of work. When it was made with Unreal Engine, I think Unreal Engine 5.0, a lot of the technology had not necessarily yet been materialized. Let's go to medium, but this is going to need me to, okay, it's not going to need me to restart the game. Let's see what I get with that. I still am on 30 something, 40 FPS. Yeah, so that I can see detail that is like, what detail is here that I would love to see that's going to make me go ahead and, stunt, everything that I'm doing. Now, if this was a 4090 and a better CPU, this CPU is more for like, workload. It's a Ryzen 9 3900X, the first, big heavy hitters that were there for the commercial use. And I use it for mostly making videos and doing some compilation stuff. So the CPU is not the greatest in terms of gaming, but the GPU that goes with it is also quite decent. It can render stuff very high at 1440 with no problems. But again, you're seeing that with an NVIDIA GPU, yeah, things look better, but I'm here to actually beat these bosses. I have a stamina bar. I have abilities that I want to cool down. This is not the kind of game where I'm too concerned about detail over precision in my inputs and stuff. So one of the reasons I haven't really, gone too far in this game is because I noticed that there's a little input latency. I don't know if they need to hire somebody with input queuing to come in and look at the core of, your button inputs, or maybe that's how the design is. They don't want you mashing, because when I try to do combos, okay, yeah, it's a little weird, or maybe I'm just not reading the animations well. But yeah, this is hardware ray tracing. This is not something that a PS5 or an Xbox or PS5 Pro will be able to carry out. Why? AMD has not yet advanced its ray tracing technology to that point. So I hope we're basically clear on this whole package in terms of the conversation, because, a lot of times people would love to say stuff like this, but in reality, ladies and gentlemen, I think many people are looking for the win in the wrong place. Let the PC people fight and worry over performance. We are already full with a bunch of video games that we have at our disposal that we now have the time to actually fight over, video games. Okay, with frame gen, what do I get? Okay, see, I'm getting about 80 FPS with frame generation. Okay, not bad. And it's full ray tracing. I mean, NVIDIA's they've got the juice, bro. This is just why they are the $1 trillion company on the market. Thankful for AMD to be able to give options to a lot of people. What does this translate to? I missed out on this guy. Okay, he's dead. Maybe this is how I should play the game, bro. Maybe this is how I should play the game. Has anybody else seen me beating these guys? I'm getting way better FPS with frame gen. Oh, this is that video that Vex was making about this stuff, bro. Where he was talking about how good it is. Who's seen me? He's dead. He's dead. Huh. Okay. There's another one. I better run. Let me give myself some space. I'm lost. I think I'm in the thicket of it, and I don't know where I came from or where I went. Sometimes that happens to you. Your orientation goes off with this game. I've woken every single bad guy up. I better hope I can fight them all off, because, man. Okay, there's where I came in from. Let me take him into that corner. Because I'm like, okay, this is the first time I've actually been able to actually watch my... Man. It's the first time I've actually been able to have my inputs not give me too much issues. Perhaps frame gen works on this game properly with minimal input latency. And this is what I saw a video about just a while ago. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be something that I like. But apparently it's working. All right, let me hire some guys. Let's see what this guy does. I cannot. Yeah. I'm going to die from the poison. Okay. Hey, not bad, but I still feel the input latency, bros. I can't. Anyways, I'll get out of your hair, man. I think we're done with this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Maybe I might come back to this game, but the input latency is not encouraging to me. Even Elden Ring, where its performance is nothing, it's compared to a lot of these other games. At least I have fidelity in my input cues. I have the rules in place, but with this input latency and also a stamina bar, like I don't even know what's going on sometimes, and I just don't know. It's just me, maybe, but again, I play fighting games, and so another thing. All right, talk to me in the comment section. Hopefully, we can talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.